So I'm just sitting in my car right now. I didn't go for a long walk, as you can tell. A couple hours ago, around 1:30 p.m. I believe. Right now it's about 6 something. I actually had a panic attack. Today, one that was really strong. It took me a little bit, about an hour to clear my mind, because I haven't felt this way in a long time. I haven't felt the panic like this for, I don't know, a couple of months now, I believe. I was heading back to my bedroom. I was coming back from the kitchen, and out of nowhere, I just felt panicky. Like, I felt like I had to run back to my room. I was only about 10 feet away from my bedroom, but the way I was feeling, out of nowhere, I just got really detached from myself, from my surroundings. I was like, I knew where I was, but at the same time, I felt like I just woke up from when you wake up, you have a sleep, you don't really know where you're at. That's how I felt, but I felt like I just woke up, like I fell asleep in the middle of the hallway of my home. Then I woke up and I was like, whoa, what am I doing here? It's that feeling I had, but it was like so strong that it felt like I was sleeping, but I knew I was awake. I can't really explain it, but also when I was walking in the hallway, my stomach I feel nauseated. I feel like my stomach was like twisted inside out. Man, I feel like I had to vomit. Then I got really hot, and my foot and my hands started sweaty. Some of the sensations I haven't had for a while actually came back today. When last night I fell asleep, I don't know, before midnight, I would think, and when I woke up, I don't think I even woke up in the middle of the night. I slept pretty good. However, when I woke up in the morning, I felt fine for a little bit, and then out of nowhere, I felt detached and stuff, lost and confused at the same time. Not panicky, just like confusion and detached. And then it got worse around 1:30, and then I realized I don't know if it's something I was thinking about. Cause I was hearing about Las Vegas, what happened with the shooting. I don't want to get into too much details, but I was like, when I was online, just browsing the internet, and then that's all I saw, and then then I heard my parents talking about it, and I was like, I don't want to really think about that stuff, especially when you have anxiety. Then you're like, what if it happens to where you what happened if it happens to somewhere you live, stuff like that. Something about 50 plus people passed away, got killed by one person, and like hundreds of people got injured. Then that started playing in my head. I'm like, so I was like, I need to get that out of my head. So that's when I felt okay, and then out of nowhere, and then I start remembering, last August, second week of August, I've mentioned this before, where I felt my anxiety was like every day from August, second week of August, my anxiety would go down every day or every other day, and then so I was almost anxiety free for a month and a half or so, and then sometime in, I think, the beginning of fall 2016, which is September something, that's when I noticed my anxiety slowly spiked up. It was getting darker earlier. Um, Not just that, but I was feeling more panicky. I was having a harder time leaving the house because before I was leaving the house around, late afternoon, like 6, 7, or even in the evening, like 8 o'clock. So then I realized maybe something about the season change made me feel the way I feel. But it's strange because I had my first panic attack back in late May, so that was spring. But my panic attack got worse during the first few months of summer, and then towards like the middle of summer, which is August, like close to the end, it got really good. And then once summer ended and fall came around, that's when it went back up. And then of course winter, I started feeling depressed because it's the holiday season. I couldn't buy anything like my family for Christmas. I couldn't buy my daughter stuff, stuff like that. It got me feeling down. So I don't know if that's what's happening to me again this year, because um, right now I have like really bad allergy. My throat is dry, so I have to keep cleaning my throat. My nose is clogging. Even my eyes are like, I'm having a hard time opening my eyes. They were irritated this morning when I woke up. I couldn't stop scratching my eyes. I'm having a hard time breathing right now. And also, what else happened? Oh yeah, October 2016, my anxiety got so bad when I was having panic attacks for hours. And I remember, I think a couple of days before Halloween, I had to go to the urgent care. I was having a panic attack that would last for like hours and hours, like how one after another. So um, I was pacing around my house. I went to the hallway, and then I don't know, I just felt depressed, and then I just sat on the floor and just like, I got emotionally. I started crying because I was upset. And then when I got upset, it's because I couldn't control my emotions. I couldn't control the panic, stuff like that. And then I started getting dizzy. I was having a hard time breathing. All those thoughts came to my mind. And then my brother asked me what happened. And my dad came along and asked me. I told him my panic attacks were getting worse again. And then a few minutes later, my oldest brother came back. And then they just talked to me into going to the doctor, to the urgent care, just to check if everything's okay, just to be on the safe side. But I didn't want to become one of those. I didn't want to end up having health anxiety, because I didn't want to say, okay, I have this new symptom, that new symptom, I have to go to the hospital. Since I had anxiety, I only went to see my family doctor once. That was in June 2016, and then when I went to the urgent care, that was in October 2016. So that was the last time I ever went to see any doctor or to the hospital. So I didn't want it to keep going and have a habit of them like, well, everything's okay, you just have anxiety. I mean, I didn't want it to turn into health anxiety. So I said, okay. So then I looked at the picture that I went when I went to the hospital. I was like, I don't know, I just feel this pressure in my head. It's like my subconscious mind is like, I don't know, where it's like reminding me. I was having flashback of, all this stuff. When I was walking down the hallway, I can picture myself just back in October when I had that panic attack, where I was just like sitting there like crying and being frustrated. Like, why can't I like, get myself out of this? And here I am now, and like thinking it was October this year is gonna, am I gonna get worse again? You know. So today it was like one of those. It's like a wake up call. But I'm not gonna really. I mean, I'm talking about it just to get it out of my mind. But I don't know if it's something that got to do with all that shooting, and then it's like my head starts thinking, oh, like what if it happens here? Or is it because I'm thinking about what happened to me last year at this time? Even though I'm not really like thinking about it, like talking about it out my head, like I'm not like actually saying it. There's something in my mind that's telling me to think about it. I might worry about just everything and anything. I don't know. Because I know with anxiety, we can't always control our thoughts. But then sometimes when we hear things and then we start paying too much attention, it's like we have focus on this and then we focus on that. It kind of remind me of my fourth panic attack when I was at work. When it hit me, I went home. Then the next day, when I went to work, I was looking at the spot where I had my panic attack, and then I was talking. People were asking me, "Am I okay?" And then I was like, "Yeah." Then I was just telling them what happened. And I was thinking, it's talking about it, just like reminding my subconscious mind that I have it. Am I just like bringing all these memories back, and then my brain is like reminding me I have panic attacks? What if I don't talk about it? Would I forget about it? But then at the same time, I want to talk about it because it sucks. But is talking about a panic attacks going to trigger you into having one? That I don't know. But sometimes when I'm having these and then I watch videos of other people talking about it, kind of calms me down because then it makes me feel like I'm not alone. Because sometimes it does make you feel like you're alone, especially when you live in a house and then no one has it. They can help all they want, but at the same time they don't fully understand what we're going through. So that's what makes me wonder, am I just talking about it and then it's like I'm waking that part of my memory that wants to leave, and I'm just like reminding myself, like you have to like when you learn how to drive, then you haven't drove for like I don't know, a couple of years or whatever. First you're gonna be like, okay, how do I do this? And then out of nowhere, you start looking at your steering wheel, you start remembering, you start picturing yourself doing it. Then you're like, okay, I remember when you first ride the bike, you keep falling, then you go again, then each step you take, every day you practice, you get used to it. Then one day you just riding your bike like nothing. That's why I think happened to me. It's like I'm waking up my anxiety. But it's like if I'm talking about October, bam, instantly remember what happened to me last year. But at the same time, last year, July, I think I only left my house once in June and maybe 2 or 3 times in July. And then August, I went for that 20 minutes drive. I wasn't driving, but my girlfriend was driving my car, the car that I'm sitting in right now. We both share insurance, so it's okay. But so it's all that stuff that is stuck in your head that sometimes you think you don't remember, but it's like something reminds you. It could be like an episode that you see. Like for example, if you have like a flashback of like a car accident and you drive by that area and you haven't drove by for like a year, and then you think you don't remember, but you drive by and then out of nowhere you just start looking at that street and then it just comes back and it reminds you, you know. But other than that, um, I'm just sitting in my car, but I'm just gonna head back inside because I'm kind of tired today, and I didn't, even though I slept pretty well, but I guess that whatever is going on in my mind from that panic attack from today is kind of got me. But tomorrow's a new day.